Now, so you can think to yourself is, do you get stressed out with that? So one of the things I'm learning to try to do, and then this is still experimental for me, is often I'll train somebody for an hour session, and within the 60 minutes, we're kind of rolling. I'm trying to fit everything in. I'm super excited, so I want to show them this, I want to show them that, I want to show them this. And all of a sudden, we're at the end of the 60 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I know this was overwhelming. I'll send you an email with everything that we covered. Well, shit, when am I going to do that? so often I'll have the hour with the client, and then I'll have an extra 10 or 15 minutes that I promise to them to send them information that I don't account well for. So I don't make sure I actually have that 10 or 15 minutes to actually do it. I don't get paid for that extra time. So, and I do that, if I do that 4, 5, 6 clients a day, all of a sudden I have an hour or two of extra work that I'm not getting paid for, and I don't always budget into my time frame. So that's 1 or 2 extra hours above my normal workload that's eating away at family time, at friend time, at my personal time, at my me time. So that's when I'm feeling overstressed. Okay, overstretched and overstressed is whenever I overpromise my time. So for me, that's what I have to find out. Okay, what is my limit? So I'm at the extent of my limit of time, therefore I'm creating stress about it. So I need to learn how to underpromise from there. Okay, so again, the phrase is underpromise, overdeliver. So I need to underpromise my time. So then if I do end up filling my full time, because maybe nothing craziness in life happened, then it's an overdeliver. I actually turn out to be a surprise to people. Another thing that makes me feel stressed is when I'm not able to contact my online clients often enough. So I try my best to contact them every 5 to 7 days, like hopefully sooner than every 5 days, but every once in a while it gets stretched to 7, and I have freaking panic attacks whenever it gets over 7, because I just feel like a piece of shit taking their money and not talking to them. So that's another thing with time is, if I overbook my time with my in-person clients, or I overbook my time with promising people things, I don't have the time I should be setting aside to talk to those online clients like I should. So now I have worked with other online trainers. I actually had an online trainer myself once who took like 10, 14 days to get back to me, and it was a bullshit response because they would look at some videos and be like, yeah, you went forward on your toes on your squat, try to sit back on your heels. And that's what I heard. That was the only thing I heard in 14 days. You gotta be shitting me. That's not very helpful. So that was a good example for me to learn, don't be that asshole. Don't be that person. So that person was taking money, and they had advertised communicating more often than that. And they had advertised communicating in more depth. So if what they did was what they had promised me, then that's my fault if I didn't like it. Okay? But that was not what was promised, so therefore I was kind of bummed about that. But I used that experience to say I didn't like the way I felt when I was giving somebody money and they weren't communicating with me. And when they did communicate with me, it wasn't like in depth. They didn't seem to even care. You could tell I was just one of 50 people that day that they were just shooting some stupid fast message to. So I tried my best, and I do fail at times. But I do try my best to try to give better communication to my online clients and to give better quality of communication. Now, like I said, I sometimes fall through with that. So I have to work on why do I fall through. And again, the reason why is I overpromise my time. So again, I'm having to learn this at the same time you guys would have to learn this, is to underpromise, live within a margin. So that way I can fulfill all of my promises, and then maybe every once in a while get the chance to overdeliver. Okay? So, think to yourself, is what stresses you out as a trainer? Okay? Is it lack of money? If it's lack of money, then you need to charge more for your services, or you need to work more. Okay? If you're only working 20 hours a week, get more hours. Or if you're working within 20 hours a week, but you have, another job, you have, family, and that's all you can give, then charge more money. That'll be the only ways for you to answer that stress. Okay? If you're stressed of lack of money, find more money. How do you find more money? Charge more, work more. Those are your options. Or you can do neither one of those and continue to have the same stress. Well, that's pretty stupid, right? But that's the idea. What stresses you out? If it's lack of money, start charging more. Okay? Start incrementally. Maybe just $5 extra an hour. If somebody bats an eye at that, if they don't like that, then say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, but this is what I have to do for me to stay in business. So with our gym, for example, our gym is 8 years old now, And when we first opened, we are now charging more per membership than when we first opened. But the reason why is because I pay more in taxes and rent and all this other shit. So I could be afraid to charge people more and earn less money and then go out of business. Well, that doesn't help anybody. But if I charge everybody an extra $5, the gym gets to stay in business, everybody's going to be happy. Okay? So when it came down to it, if I told each of the members, you can either pay $5 more or the gym will be canceled. They're probably going to pay the $5, right? So it doesn't have to be a big increase. It can just be something small. But if that's what you need to get rid of your stress, then do it. Now, if you have a stress of too much workload, okay, so don't be like me. Don't promise like every minute of your life away. And then maybe there's ways that you have to streamline your efforts. Okay, streamline the way you write programming. Maybe streamline the way that you think of programming. So if you do a lot of pre-planning for your clients, and that eats up a lot of your time, and you're like, damn, I'm just like, this takes so long to do everything. Then you have to find ways to streamline things, okay? So we have trainer consultations we do, and part of that is like helping people with programming ideas. So we have programming structures and formats that they can just plug and play in, so that way they can write like programming faster and faster and faster and faster. So you don't have to devote more time, just do what you do more efficiently. So we help trainers with that all the time, and it makes a huge difference for them, okay? So then if you think of online content or marketing yourself, okay, a lot of people will get stressed over that. They're like, well, I don't know if I know enough, or like, such and such does it this way, and I don't have as good a videography as they do. I don't have as cool like imagery as they do. All that stuff's horse shit. Be yourself, okay? The world is full of everybody else. Be you. Okay, you're the only you, be you, celebrate that. So one of the things you can do is share what your struggles are, share what your victories are. Share in a way that you teach other people, though. So if all of a sudden you can squat, 225 for 10, don't say, yay me. Say, here's what I did. So I could squat 225 for 10. Why don't you try it and see what results you can get? So use your journey to educate others. Don't celebrate yourself. Don't be all about you, okay? You are not that amazing. Okay, you're here to help other people, not to celebrate yourself. Now, don't be negative on yourself and find a happy balance, blah, blah, blah. But too often I'll see somebody say, like, here's a shirtless selfie. Oh, I did 315 for 10 today. Okay, there's no substance there. So you have abs and you can bench 315 for 10. Who gives a shit? I want to know how I can get abs and I can bench 315 for 10. So if you're a trainer, tell me how I can do it. Don't just tell me how awesome you are. That doesn't help shit. Okay, you just look like an asshole. So don't do that. So when you're worried about marketing yourself, just be you. Share your journey with people. There will be people who are in the same place as you, and they'll join your journey with you. Okay? Just be yourself. And if you're stressed out over knowledge, maybe you feel like you need to know more, well, then take time every day to learn something. Okay? Take 5 or 10 minutes to watch a video on YouTube. Maybe you can do it before bed. You can do it while you're eating lunch. You can do it in the morning, okay? Like you can listen to a podcast while you get up in the morning and brush your teeth and stuff. Hint, hint, these podcasts maybe. But you can do that in the early morning. You can listen to podcasts while you work out. I listen to audiobooks while I work out all the time. So that's a great time. You just find time. So when you're doing dishes, when you're cooking, when you're doing laundry, when you're cleaning your house, just put on a podcast, put on an audiobook. Just spend time learning, okay? Invest in your knowledge every day. Cool? So find what stresses you out and address it. That's how you are going to find your limits, improve upon your limits, and stay confident within your limits. Okay? And limits are not a bad thing. Don't worry about that. Okay? So that's basically going to help. This is something I'm still learning myself, and as I've helped other trainers learn it, and as I've learned it and put it actually into practice from time to time, it works out super duper well. Okay? So under promise, over deliver. Okay? So if you need any help with this, please let us know. Shoot us an email, brutaliron@gmail.com. We'll help you out. So we've done, like I said, trainer consultations to where, like the last person who called, they had 3 basic questions they wanted to address as a personal trainer. We sent them 11 pages of information with over 7 hours of podcast support. Okay, supporting information. So I was pretty happy about. So tons of good information. So if there's any struggle you have as a trainer, anything that is holding you back from helping people to your best abilities, let us know, and we'll figure it out for you. Okay, we'll figure it out with you. How about that? Okay, our email is brutalironjim@gmail.com. So, learn to underpromise in business. Don't be short-sighted and trying to get people excited now, only to let them down in the future. Okay? So, underpromise, overdeliver. Be a surprise, not a letdown. Cool. Okay, hopefully this was helpful. So if you like this information, you can find more from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Brutal Iron Gym. Also, if you like the podcast, please share it with family and friends. So the more people we help, the happier the world will be. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, we'd love, love, love to hear from you. The podcast is for you, so we know what you want to learn about. Okay? And you can reach us at our email, brutalironjim@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful. And thank you for listening.